After the rise in popularity of the 100 men versus gorilla debate, I decided to make a spin on this topic with my goat Thunder God and talk about the original animal related matchup that was as popular as this one a few years back. And I've been seeing a recent spring of this debate once again because of the 100 men versus gorilla debate. So instead of me just making a video that pretty much all of your favorite YouTubers have already covered about this topic, I'm going to be doing my spin on it and talking about the billion lions versus a single Pokemon. Now, I got my goat Thunder God to help me break down the scaling of lions from our world and put them up against the world of catchable creatures. Firstly, we'll be getting into the lion scaling because I feel like a billion lions in general just being covered in a section sounds ridiculous. So I want to see what Thunder God has to say about this.
So talking about lions, on average, I need to drop some stats for lions just to give us an example or an idea of what we're dealing with. On average, male lions weigh around 420 pounds. This being based on a study recorded for Kruger National Park in Africa, where they weighed 344 lions, adult lions weighing around 412 pounds on an empty stomach. So these lions do weigh quite a bit. Now for how strong lions are, it's a bit tricky to talk about. The main stock for a lion is their bite force, which is around 8,000 psi in strength. Psi is pounds per square inch, being the pressure that results when a pound of force is applied to a unit area of 1 square inch. A lot of people have this misconception that lions have like 690 psi. This is ridiculous and taken out of context. This 690 psi myth came about from a 2005 bite force test video where a 24-month-old lion does a swift bite coming out to 690 psi. Lions are at their prime when they hit 5 to 6 years old, so this is still an adolescent. It's just ridiculous to suggest, especially when lions are very comparable or rivals to tigers and just have similar skeletal structures to tigers who also have around 1,000 psi. So to say they wouldn't scale to like hyenas who are also in that range, it's all just absurd. This has been corrected multiple times by National Geographic, once in 2006, another in 2012, or again in 2019. So this 60-90 psi myth needs to be debunked. And for perspective, right, to kind of compare lions to other animals in the animal kingdom to give us a better idea of what we're dealing with, spotted hyenas have a psi of 1,000, gorillas have a psi of 1,300, jaguars have a psi of 1,500, then you have killing machines like saltwater crocodiles, which have a psi of 3,700, or great white sharks that have a psi of 4,000. So simply put, the lions do scale to other animals in the animal kingdom as they are able to damage them. Most animals like a gorilla, a lion would be able to damage and would have a good matchup against. So lions do compare to many other animals in the animal kingdom, which makes this a pretty riveting topic as a whole. Now, in character, or as lions usually hunt, they just rush down the opponent with bites to the neck, followed up by clamping their claws around their throat. In a successful hunt, the prey is knocked off balance, dragged down, and killed in one bite, lions usually targeting the jugular vein of the opponent. And in general as well, lions are very short-term sprinters. They have relatively small hearts and lungs and lack the stamina to keep pace for a max speed of 60 to 80 kilometers for more than 100 to 200 meters. Lions are just going to be going for short-term sprints, just taking down the opponents and biting their neck. So they really have the ability to just take down other animals or just humans in general, as in 2018 in a private nature reserve in South Africa, a pride of lions killed a trophy hunter after he killed one of their clubs, where it was reported that they had eaten most of his body, barring the head that was untouched. So even human bones are not beyond the lion's ability to break and digest.
I'll let y'all know one thing though, that lion ain't beating me up, I'm letting you know right now! Anyway, fodder Pokemon, despite being so weak, are actually pretty strong. Magikarp, which is considered the weakest Pokemon within the universe, it's just a general consensus in the anime, manga, games, etc. It's somehow capable of surviving an earthquake that affected all of Sinnoh. The reason why this earthquake is so important is because they actually were at the direct face of it all, considering that it was caused by a bomb. And we just see in the area the Magikarps just splashing around the area with no water. Meaning the weakest Pokemon is capable of surviving over 100 gigatons of force. For reference, they're withstanding pretty much the equivalent of multiple Hiroshimas and just flopping around like nothing. And even if you didn't want to use that method, we do have weaker Pokemon anyway, like Diglett or Geodude being capable of causing magnitudes, which are pretty much just earthquakes that can range from as low as multi-city block to as high as country level, depending on the level of magnitude they want to generate. Though using game scaling in general can be tricky due to how certain mechanics work and some clear inconsistencies with Pokemon in general. The anime kind of suffers from this as well, with the manga being probably the most consistent of the bunch. I'll be mentioning feats here and there about both continuities, but generally I'm just talking on what most people know, that being the games. There's a bunch of consistency for general mons being in this tier as well, like Dugtrio causing a 60-mile earthquake, Tyranitar's earthquake, and even Charizard's flamethrowers being capable of destroying mountains. It's just very consistent for general Pokemon that fodder trainers have to be in this tier. Meaning, yes, Youngster Joey probably beats anybody in JJK. Anywho, moving into the next tier of Pokemon, we start to see some of these strong Pokemon start being showcased. In this tier, we have Pokemon that can either fight legendaries or Elite Four level trainers. So in this category would be Frontier Brains, Elite Four trainers, champions, anybody that participated in the Masters 8 or anybody that's relevant within the series, and can either hang with low tier legendaries or scrap with decently strong ones. These Pokemon are usually in their third stage evolutions, unless you're Ash's Pikachu, and legendaries like the legendary birds, Lugia, and the Weather Trio. Pokemon like the legendary birds and Lugia can affect the weather and conjure up storms across entire regions, with Lugia storms being conjured for over 40 days just by flapping its wings. Then we have Kyogre and Groudon affecting the entire ocean and shifting continents, with Rayquaza just off of Aura scaring these two away. Generally, legendaries do have a hierarchy, but we have seen in the anime legendaries can just scrap with each other, and due to this, people in the anime who scale the legendary should generally be ranging from country to continental. Now, obviously, these aren't the strongest legendaries, and in the next tier, we have legendaries that are consistently threatening the planet or even capable of destroying celestial bodies. Like I mentioned earlier, Rayquaza is probably the bare minimum of this tier, considering he was just flexing and stopped Kyogre and Groudon's beef, which was already threatening the planet. We have Mewtwo being capable of destroying the entire world, Deoxys who could fight Rayquaza and Mewtwo as well. And past tier 3, I don't think I really need to explain the other tiers for the legendaries, because I mean, we're mentioning dudes who are creating galaxies, destroying timelines, or the very concepts of time and space. I don't think we really need to mention these guys against a lot of lions, you know what I mean? So I don't really think I need to get into Arceus scaling or anything like that. We can just leave it at that. Pretty much legendaries, big strong. Pretty much to take away from this is the other legendaries that I didn't mention are just way too strong for the Lions to handle. Now we can get into the matchup itself, TG, which I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty clear that the Lions are definitely going to need the numbers to even kill just a single Pokemon.
A good example to use, or to create a good parallel if you're going to look at the anime, is that Watson's Electrike was able to bite through just a metal cage or metal bars. Like, he was able to use Bite and actually break the bars themselves, which is not really a feat you see Lions IRL, or they're not really shown to be capable of, as again, they're just kept in captivity through cages. And if they were able to bite through them that easily, they would. So put it like this, on average, these Lions are probably, or just are weaker than an Electrike. So imagine a billion Electrikes just in this discussion versus one of these legendaries. It really wouldn't be a matchup, to be honest. So there's not, you know, in terms of that, it's not too much of a discussion. And the fact that, again, most Pokemon can learn the move Bite and just use it is just another concept entirely, without drawing blood from other Pokemon. Like, most Pokemon do have a certain level of durability. A lot of these Lions wouldn't even be able to damage a lot of these Pokemon by biting them. They wouldn't do anything. It would just be a nuisance, honestly speaking. But yeah.
I mean, one Lion would unironically be hurt from a Magikarp splash. We saw in the anime that the splash can unironically like create a crater on the ground, which unironically is like hundreds to thousands of times more energy than anything a Lion has showcased with this bite force. So even if a Magikarp was just not flopping there and was just standing still, the Lion is going to break its teeth and claws when attempting to maul the weakest Pokemon. And fuck around and Magikarp want to use Splash on a Lion, it's probably just gonna rip it in half. I mean, it goes as far as even like the trainers themselves in the anime scaling to the Pokemon to an extent, because we do have Ash like taking Monferno's Flame Wheel and like Charizard's flamethrowers. That unironically would be more impressive than anything a Lion has showcased. Like, Ash and the gang could probably fight off the Lions in a one-off episode, bro, if they really wanted to.
This isn't even us considering literally any of your favorite Pokemon into account that can quite literally destroy mountains, shift continents, or even threaten planets and celestial bodies. These individuals are just something that a Lion aren't going to do anything against, no matter how many Lions you have. Even just arguing the Lions stockpile each other, I don't even think it really matters, as the Pokemon in question would just be blowing them away. Like, even if you said each lion weighs X, they stockpiled and get that many billions of pounds, any Pokemon on average is just blowing them back, so that would never even be
Bro, do a billion lions even beat like 10 Caterpies? Like,
Yeah.
let's actually think about this real quick. Like actually, bro.
You know, what do they have for a well-placed string shot? You know, I don't know.
That's what I'm saying, bro. That minus accuracy gonna be the death of them, bro. But I mean, I don't think we really have to say anything else. This was just a fun little topic and a nice video for you guys to be entertained by. So I hope you guys liked this video and enjoyed this little fun debate. Be sure to go and check out TG's channel down in the description, and be sure to comment and suggest any versus battles you want us to cover in the future.